Okay, everyone. Good morning. So please turn on your camera, everyone. Muhammad Irfan, Anat Anthony, and Josie B. Please turn on your cameras. Okay, and we are going for the discussion related with the market equilibrium. Market equilibrium. Okay. So yesterday we started this chapter, discussed the basic aspects or basic ideas in this chapter, like what is market supply and what is market demand. Okay, and what is equilibrium price? Equilibrium price. Okay, and we know that both these consumers and producers always showing the price taking behavior, right? Right? Then what is that? What is this price taking behavior? Femina, what is the price taking behavior for the consumer? Tell me. Femina. Can hear Femina? Okay, anyone please tell me what is this price taking behavior of the consumer? Anyone?
Consumer always tries to buy goods which are low in price than the market price.
They always prefer to purchase the goods lesser than the existing market price or equal to the market price. Okay, fine. What is the price taking behavior of the producers? Amal Das,
Yes, sir.
tell me.
So, sell more than the market.
So always they will try to sell the goods more than the market price, existing market price or equal to the market price, equal to the market price. Okay, so always the producers want to make more profit and the consumers they want to purchase more products with their budget constraint, budget constraint or budget limit, right? Okay, clear. That's what the price taking behavior. So here we know that the market supply, the total supply to the markets from different firms, okay, different products for different prices. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Okay, sorry for the inconvenience, guys. So power failure. Okay, so come back. Okay, that's what the price taking behavior of the consumer and the firms there. Okay, so we studied about the supply and the demand, demand, right? Okay, so market supply and market demand, which means the entire supply from or to the market from different firms for different prices. Okay, so next one, the entire demand, the demand by the consumers for different products for different price. Okay, so that is basically termed as the market demand. So market supply and market demand, it will meet in a particular price, for a particular price. That time we can say it's an equilibrium, balance. Clear or not? Balance. Okay, so other situations also are there. It's basically termed as the excess demand and excess supply. Excess demand and excess supply. What do you mean by excess demand? Excess demand, anyone? Can anyone tell me what is excess demand? Excess demand. Come on fast. So not read the textbook yesterday, I think so. Okay, check that. What is excess demand? You underline that, but not read anything. What is excess demand? So economics means it is based with a number of principles there, right? Okay, basic principles are there. If you don't know those basic principles, it is difficult to understand the ideas there. So mind it. Okay, so what is that? What is this excess demand?
The market shows more demand than the supply demand.
Okay, more demand for the product than the supply. Okay, fine. Then what do you mean excess supply? Hanna Salim, what is excess supply? Hanna?
Market demand, market supply is greater than the
Demand. Okay, supply is greater than the demand. That time we can say that is excess supply. Right? Okay. So in this chapter we are discussing about the market equilibrium, which means supply want to meet the demand. Clear? Or demand want to meet the supply. Okay, so want to balance. Okay, supply and demand want to balance. So we want to create it will create an equilibrium. Clear or not? Okay, if supply is excess supply means what will happen to the price? Supply is more, then what will happen to the price?
Decrease.
Definitely, more the supply, lesser the price. Clear? Write down somewhere, okay, all these basic aspects of economics. Write down somewhere, okay. Clear or not? Next one, if demand is excess, what will happen?
Price will increase.
Price will increase. Okay, supply increases, price decrease, inverse relation. Okay, demand increase, price also will increase, direct relation. Understand? Okay, just to write down that and keep that idea in your mind there, or else it is difficult to. Okay, take it from me. Principles are there. That is important factor of economics. Okay, that is basic common sense is there, means we can think and understand that. Clear or not? Just thinking means you will get that answers there. Okay, no need of, I already told you that what you can say, use of a sixth or seventh senses there. Okay, fine. Coming back to the textbook. So I told you basically we are studying here the equilibrium, excess demand and excess supply. Equilibrium, excess demand and excess supply. So we already discussed that QD, quantity demanded for a particular price, it should be equal to quantity supplied for that same price. Clear? Understand? So QD for a price will equal to, or it will equal to quantity supplied Q as for that same price. Clear or not? So QD is equal to QS. Okay, clear or not? Clear or not? That's what equilibrium here. Equilibrium, quantity demanded for the price, okay, equal to quantity supplied in the market for that same price, for that same price of that particular good. Okay, so yesterday we read here, okay, if at the price market supply is greater than market demand. Okay, for a particular price, supply of a good is greater than the demand. Remember, supply of the good is greater than the demand. Clear or not? So, example, we want to purchase only 2 coconuts, right or not? But in the market, hundreds of coconuts are there. Clear or not? So, demand is only 2. So, remember, only one customer is there in the market. Only you are the customer. Clear or not? Understand? So, you only wanted 2. Clear? But how many coconuts are there? 100 coconuts are there, right? So, supply is more, but demand is less. Clear or not? Okay. So, no one will purchase the balanced coconuts, right or not? Only one customer is there. So, that's going to be excess supply. So, the seller will say that, okay, you take all these together, give me the price of 2 coconuts. So, what will happen there? The price of the commodity is reduced. Clear? So, just to remember, we say that there is an excess supply in the market at the price, if the market demand exceeds the market supply at a price, it is called excess demand. Next situation. Okay. So, it is excess supply in the market at the same price, and if market demand exceeds, demand for the commodity exceeds than the supply. Okay, than the supply. Okay, then what will happen there? It is said that excess demand. Right or not? Clear or not? Okay, so therefore, equilibrium is perfectly competitive market can be defined alternatively as 0 excess demand and 0 excess supply situation. Okay, so in a perfect competition system, we can say that 0 excess demand and 0 excess supply. Okay, supply is equal to demand, equilibrium, right? Clear or not? There is no excess supply, there is no excess demand, so that is called as equilibrium. Whenever market supply is not equal to the market demand, and hence the market is not in equilibrium. So, if any changes are there in the demand or the supply, we can say that the market is not in equilibrium, There will be a tendency for the price to change. We already know that. If demand increases, definitely the price will increase. Okay, the supply increases, definitely we can say that the price will decrease. Demand increases, price increases. Supply increases, price decreases. Okay, in the next 2 section, we will try to understand what drives this change. Okay, why this change? What creating this change in price in the market related with the demand and supply? Okay, so even small kids also will say that. Okay, what is that? Demand and supply will able to make changes in the price. Clear or not? Simply want to understand that. So here we are discussing about a particular economist idea or philosophy. So out of equilibrium behavior. Heard about Adam Smith? What is the specialty of Adam Smith? Who is he? Who is Adam Smith? Father of economics. Understand? Okay, father of economics. Okay, why Adam Smith is considering as the father of economics? What is his contribution to economics? He wrote a famous book. Remember the name of the book? Remembering anyone? What is the name of the book? An Enquiry into the Wealth of Nations. Basically, we'll say that wealth of nations. Okay. Wealth of nations. So Adam Smith described that how the country is creating wealth, how they are utilizing that, and a clear-cut evidences or clear-cut answers for a number of questions that related with economics. Okay, from the time of Adam Smith, 1723, 18th century, it has been maintained that in a perfectly competitive market, an invisible hand. Okay, underline that. So the invisible hand, that theory or that idea is related with Adam Smith. Okay, invisible hand. Okay, so just a small homework for you people. Write a short note on Adam Smith. Okay, clear? And I want to see that by tomorrow. Write a short note on Adam Smith. You are studying economics and don't know about the father of economics, Mr. Trouble. The same time, find out who is the father of the modern economics and write a short note about that person also. Okay, 2 works are there. Make it fast. Write down. Yeah, recording. So listen, Adam Smith and his idea of invisible hand. Invisible hand. Okay, can you see the screen now? Hello?
It's not clear, sir.
Not clear. What about now? Is it clear?
No, sir.
Okay, just check from your textbook or else. Okay, so we will discuss that here. Out of equilibrium behavior. Okay, out of equilibrium behavior by Adam Smith in the year 1723 to 1790 spirit, 18th century. So it has been maintained that in a perfectly competitive market an invisible hand is at play. So here Adam Smith idea is what is that an invisible hand is at play. What is playing here? An invisible hand. We are unable to see that, which changes price whenever there is a imbalance in the market. So this invisible hand is the factor that creating changes in the price where there is an imbalance between the supply and demand. Okay, our intuition also tell us that this invisible hand should rise the prices in case of excess demand. So we can easily say that our intuition says that what is this invisible hand? That invisible hand increases the price when demand is excess, in the case of excess demand, and lower the price in the case of excess supply. Okay, so invisible hand, okay, as per the idea of Adam Smith, an invisible hand at play. Okay, it is increasing the price at the time of excess demand, and it is reducing the price at the case of excess supply. Throughout our analysis, we shall maintain that the invisible hand plays this very important role. Moreover, we shall take it that the invisible hand, by following this process, is able to reach the equilibrium. This assumption will be taken to hold in all that we discuss in the text. What is that assumption? Okay, what is that assumption there? Okay, so always the price is trying to create an equilibrium in the market, right? Clear or not? Only price can do that. Okay, related with the excess demand and excess supply, we are able to see the changes in the price. It is increasing and it is decreasing. Okay, so why this price increasing and decreasing? It always trying to create an equilibrium in the market. Clear? So that is what the invisible hand here by Adam Smith. So it's a market mechanism. Clear or not? Okay, so in this chapter, that's what our base idea. Okay, what is that? This invisible hand, how prices are changing related with the excess demand, and excess supply, and how it create or able to create equilibrium in the market. Related with the supply and demand. I mean the market supply and the market demand. So we are moving forward with the idea 5.1.1 market equilibrium, fixed number of firms. Okay, so we are discussing here a market equilibrium condition with a fixed number of firms. Okay, clear or not? So no firms can join or no one can leave. Okay, clear or not? So fixed number is there. Here, recall that in chapter number 2 we have derived that market demand curve for price taking consumers. So we already understand, we know that the demand curve for the consumers, right or not? The consumers demand curve, how it will be? Okay, the price increases, definitely the demand will decrease. That's what the consumers demand curve. Okay, and for price taking firms, the market supply curve, and derived in the chapter number 4 under the assumption of fixed number of firms there. So supply curve of the firms. Okay, if price decreases, the firms will reduce the supply, right or not? Yes or no? So that's what the supply curve for the firms there. So in this section, with the help of these two curves, we will look at how supply and demand forces work together to determine where the market will be in equilibrium when the number of firms is fixed. Okay, we will also study how the equilibrium price and quantity change due to shift in demand and supply curve. So we are going to discuss here, underline this area. Okay, we will look at how supply and demand forces work together to determine where the market will be in equilibrium and when the number of firms is fixed. We will also study how the equilibrium price and the quantity change due to shift in the demand and the supply curve. Shift in the demand and the supply curve. You can see the figure here, figure 5.1. Okay, that's what the base curve or a base graph for we people to analyze the situation. Okay, figure 5.1 illustrates, okay, it shows equilibrium for a perfectly competitive market with a fixed number of firms. So here condition is a perfect competition, right? Clear or not? And number of firms are fixed here. Number of firms are fixed. Number of production units or factories are fixed. Here SS, okay, denote the market supply. SS is the market supply from supply from all the firms. That's what SS here. And DD denotes the market demand curve for the commodity. DD, okay, market demand from the entire consumers in the market, okay, or in the economy. That's what DD. So supply curve is here, demand curve also here. I mean market supply curve and the market demand curve. Okay, the demand supply curve SS, the market supply curve SS shows how much of the commodity firm would wish to supply at different prices. Underline that. So here one question is there, what do you mean by the market supply curve? So market supply curve SS shows how much of the commodity firms would wish to supply at different prices. Okay, and the demand curve DD tell us how much of the commodity the consumer would be willing to purchase at different prices. Clear? So just to keep these ideas in your mind. Then graphically, an equilibrium is a point, underline that. What do you mean equilibrium? Equilibrium is a point where the market supply curve intersects the market demand curve, because this is where the market demand equals to market supply. Market demand equal to market supply. The simple idea. Hello. Okay, so come back. Hope my voice is clear, right? Okay, so that's what the SS. Okay, market supply, and DD. Okay, market demand. And we discussed here what do you mean by the equilibrium point. So you can see here in this curve. So the equilibrium is here. That is called as E equilibrium point. Okay. Can you see that? Where the demand curve and the supply curve intersect. Okay, so this point is called to be the E. That's called the equilibrium price. Okay, equilibrium price, and the quantity sold that for that price, equilibrium quantity here. Clear? Okay, so just to understand that, we will discuss. Okay, so the equilibrium is a point where the market supply curve intersects the market demand curve, because this is where the market demand equal to market supply. At any other point, either there is excess supply. So in this point, the market supply equal to the market demand. Any other point, or for example, if it is a P2, Q1, P star, Q star, sorry, not that one. Okay, that is equilibrium one, P star and the Q star here. Okay, so Q1, Q2, and Q1, Q dash, Q1 dash, Q2 dash, okay, P1, P2, that time we are able to find no equilibrium points, unable to find an equilibrium point there. Okay, clear. So moving forward, so I can see at any other point either there is an excess supply or excess demand. To see what happened when market demand does not equal market supply, look at us, sorry, let us look in figure 5.1. At any price at which the equality does not hold. Okay, does not hold. In figure 5.1, if the prevailing price is P1, the market demand is Q1. Check there. Okay, the price is P1, the market demand is Q1 for a P1 price. This is the P1 price and the demand is the Q1. So lesser the demand, right or not? Clear or not? Price is less. Okay, so demand is high. Price is less here, right? Price is less, so demand is high. Q1. Okay, but it is not an equilibrium one. It's not an equilibrium one. Okay, so moving for the next one. Okay, therefore there is an excess demand in the market equal to Q1, whereas the market supply is a Q1 dash. In the figure 5.1, if the prevailing price is P1, the market demand is Q1, whereas the market supply is Q1 dash. Okay, see here, market supply is a Q1 dash. Okay, lesser the price, lower the supply, but higher the demand. Demand is Q1, supply is Q1 dash, this one. Price is P1, right? So lower the price is low, so supply also low, but demand is high. Understand? The idea clear? Okay, moving forward. Okay, it's already 9:15. So I'm winding up the session. Again, one more class is there today, right? So we will discuss the things in the next class. Okay, guys. Thank you.